Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and here with me today I have a freakish offensive lineman who I would like you guys to get an opportunity to meet. His name is Nash Jones, offensive lineman out of Texas State. Nice to have you today, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Hey, nice having you on here. I say freakish because at the beginning of the year you were on the Bruce Feldman's freaks list. And so a lot of people got a chance to know you early on, really dive into some of your film. It could have come out last year actually, but decided to come back. Ended up playing some reps at guard, putting you in a great position to hopefully get drafted this go around. So Nash, go ahead and introduce yourself so we can get going.
Gotcha. Hi, my name is Nash Jones, from Dallas, Texas originally, and I play at Texas State.
Cool. So, uh, I have in my notes Nacogdoches. I don't know how close that is to Dallas, but obviously that's what I had. That's the
Hmm.
high school you played for.
Right.
Talk to me about the early days of you as a football player, maybe taking us as far back as we can and tell us when you first started.
Gotcha. So I first started playing football in like seventh grade. I was a big soccer kid at first. I think that's where I kind of got my athleticism, my feet going.
Okay.
But I didn't really want to play football. Then I started getting big, and my dad was like, "Hey, we got to do something else." And so went to football my first seventh grade, sixth grade, seventh grade year in middle school, and they're just throwing the ball out there saying, "Run, go have fun." Essentially, I was a lineman there still, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't start playing football seriously and taking it for real until I got to high school because I wanted to win, of course. Still learning, still growing into my body, things like that. And when I hit my growth spurt is when I kind of started getting really good at football. And that was about junior, senior year.
Cool. So again, you were at Nacogdoches High School. Talk to me a little bit about your high school days. Maybe if there was a particular fond memory that you'd like to share. And I don't know if you did any other sports, because I mean, it seems like you just kind of moved on from other things and just did football at that particular time. So talk to me.
Gotcha. High school was cool. We moved from Dallas to Nacogdoches. My dad's a pastor, and he felt the call to go preach in Nacogdoches, so we just hopped in that car and we moved 3 hours down to East Texas. The city embraced us. It was nice. The church embraced us well. Had two friends that were my dogs. Morales, well, that's his last name, but in football, you call everybody by the last name. His name is Daniel Morales, but we called him Morales. My other boy was Tarkorian Royale. We call him Ty, and it was just us three doing what we do, having a good time. I didn't play many other sports. I did track and field. Well, I really just did field. I didn't do track. Did powerlifting, but my main focus was football because I figured I'm good at this. Well, at the time, I don't think I was good at it, but I feel like I could get good at this. I can and really take this to get me to college.
Yeah, and you end up going to Incarnate Word first, although it is in the midst of the pandemic where we're not really sure exactly what's going on. But I mean, you have an opportunity to be a part of actually a very prolific offense there. So talk about the early days of you being at Incarnate Word.
Gotcha. That was a big surprise for me. They were my first offer off rip. Coach Shu tells me to come down to camp. I go down to that camp, and I don't think I played all that well, but I was listening to him. I was being coachable, doing what he asked me to do, and he gave me an offer, and I kind of got the ball rolling. Go to as we are starting to go into in Carl Word, it was so different than Nacogdoches. One, East Texas versus South Texas, two completely different types of hot. East Texas is wet hot, South Texas is hot. And so I kind of get used to that and the turf being, I don't know how many degrees, fighting my tail off. But Incarnate Word was a really fun experience. It really shaped me into the man that I am today. I learned how to just do a lot of things on my own outside of football. My love for Christ really grew there. And God taught me a lot of things there. My time blessed me with being able to win a lot of games. So it was really great.
Cool. One thing that I want to highlight for what it's worth is, bro, you play with some fantastic quarterbacks along the way. And if we start with the first one, we're starting with maybe the guy who might be the top pick in this NFL draft. Uh, did you know early on that Cameron Ward was going to be as fantastic as he is right now, as one of the premier guys right now in college football?
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Cam was going to be one of those guys. When you practice with people as much as we practice and as hard as we practice, you can just kind of tell and see. And all that fancy stuff that y'all seen on TV, he was doing crazier things in practice, because practice is a little bit chiller in terms of you feel comfortable to do those types of things. And so us seeing that stuff on TV is like, yeah, that's what he does. And so it ain't nothing new to me. But y'all are finally seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he was under the helm when you first got there and, a part of this offense. One thing about you that I feel has, really helped you as a prospect is your overall experience is fantastic. I mean, we're looking at a guy with 51 career starts. I introduced you as an offensive lineman, but most of your snaps have actually been at offensive tackle, going back to your days at UIW. So, talk about your experience along the offensive line and get us there to Texas State these past couple of years.
Gotcha. So I played tackle, high school, right and left. Coach who saw me, he said, "Hey, I want you to come and fight for the starting spot." I thought that I was going to come in, put my head down, go to work, spend the first 2 years working my tail off, and then earn the spot later. Like the normal thing. But Coach Shu kind of had different plans, and God did as well. Came in there, we started a lot of games. Started my career at right tackle because it was COVID. It was that weird, like we played in the spring instead of the fall. We only got 6 games. It doesn't really count, but it counts. And so he just threw me at right tackle and just, hey, cut your teeth, go do the best you possibly can. And I was trying. I promise you, I was trying my tail off. Going to jumping from college, from high school opponents to college opponents was two totally different things, but I was holding my own out there. And then Coach Shui said, "Hey, you're doing a good job, so I'm gonna move you over to left, and you're gonna be my left tackle now." And I said, "Okay, I understand, Coach. Whatever you want me to do." And I was blessed enough to have great QBs, like you said. Also, Lindsey Scott Jr. was one of my QBs. He won the Walter Payton Award. He did phenomenal for us. More than just being a QB, he was super smart. He was a great leader, and it was really fun to be a part of that team under the helm from him and his leadership. He was an old guy, right? And so just he seen everything, knew everything. It was fun to be around. I still talk to him to this day. And so I was great. I was happy to be his left tackle. He's a dude that you want to block for. And so we go out there, we do the best that we can. And the best that we can was like 13 games, wins with a couple of losses, a couple of heartaches against North Dakota State. Still wish we could got that game back. But Coach Kenny, my coach, is leaving. Our head coach leaving Texas State and taking some of the staff with him. My coach tells me, "Hey, I'm leaving, and I want you to come with me." But I didn't think I was going to make that move. Honestly, I thought I was going to be one of the first people drafted from Incarnate Word. I'm a very loyal guy, and they're the people. They gave me my first offer, and they saw me out. But I got a word from God. God told me it was time to leave, and so I hit the portal and do all that crazy stuff in there. And so we get to Texas State, and was starting left tackle again. I had an injury, which sucked. I broke my leg. But I was able to come back that year and fight for it. And then Coach Kenny kind of told me, like, "Hey, a lot of scouts are seeing you at guard. We're going to move you inside, and this will be probably better for you in the long run." And so that's kind of how I got to guard from all those years of tackle because that was my projection. And I'm trying to do my best to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, just breaking that down here real quick. Again, with 51 starts, 34 of which at left tackle. Um, uh, what is it? Only I think one officially at official start at right tackle, and then 30, and then 12 this past season actually at left guard. In which, when we talk about it, I do feel like you coming back another year and playing at guard has really put you in a great position to get drafted. Should be drafted this year, in my humblest opinion. Maybe not the first out of Incarnate Word, but going to be a solid guy out of Texas State who's going to get himself drafted. So, Once again, I had pitched you as one of these Feldman Freaks guys, and just kind of want to talk about some of these things. I mean, mention again high quality athleticism across the board, and they were shouting things like he's going to have over 32-inch vertical, 9'7" broad jump, 450 bench, or something crazy like this. I mean, um, how does one get to these freakish numbers, man? Is this just kind of like being physically gifted or what?
Well, one, I do think I am physically gifted, right? I think a shout out to God for that one and my parents. My dad's a basketball player, my mom's a dancer. And so I kind of have these kind of God-given abilities through them. But then also, too, it's a lot of hard work. Coach Hugh is my strength coach for the past 5 years. And thank the Lord that I was able to be with the same strength coach for my entire career. So I was able to really buy in to a
Nice.
system. And so everything that he preached, I did. Eat, sleep, hydrate. Well, I ate, I slept, and I hydrated. He wanted me to work 100%. I worked 100%. I didn't question what he had us doing, even if it didn't feel good that day. If you wanted me to go out here and run this much and then turn back around and sprint, I'm gonna do that. If you wanted me to sprint this much and then turn back around and squat, well, I'm gonna do that. So I give a lot of credit to our strength staff.
Awesome. So again, now we're looking at you as an NFL prospect. Um, as we are going into this NFL draft, what do you feel separates you from perhaps other people who play along the offensive line? I mean, we talked about your versatility, but is there anything more that perhaps you would add to that?
Well, for me, is my strength and versatility. I pride myself on the weight room. Like I said, I'm gonna do exactly what Coach Hughes tells me to do, and that allowed me to do a lot of great numbers in there. But then I'm gonna bring that to the football field. So my play kind of shows is that I'm gonna try my best to be a strong, dominant person. You're not gonna outwork me in terms of in the weight room, and so I'm gonna bring that to the field. And so when I'm on that field and I can move a guy from A to B, and it looks a little easier than somebody else, well, that's why, because I'm a strong and dominant person. And so if you want me to be that person at right tackle, I can do that at right tackle. If you want me to be that person at left guard, I can be that person.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit everywhere. I think it's really just going to depend on what coach gets a hold of you at the next level as to what you're going to be playing. Another key factor to mention again is just your team captain. A lot of people depend upon you as a leader. Talk about that aspect of what you bring to the table.
Right. So I kind of credit that stuff to the work in the church that I've done. My dad's a pastor, and so and voluntarily I chose to work in the church a lot. Right. Of course, he needed help. I was there to help, and so I got to learn leadership through my father. And so he is a rah rah kind of guy. He likes to yell. He likes to get people going. He used to be a coach himself. So not only am I a pastor's son, I'm a coach's son. But my leadership style is a little different. I like to walk alongside guys. I don't like to yell or kind of be on top of. And I can do that stuff if that's needed. I've done that a couple of times because sometimes the team needs to get going. But I like to walk alongside people. I like to sit by. If we're locker mates, I like to sit by you and talk with you, see what's going on. Because to me, I get more out of you if I can sit with you and understand what's going on in the day perspective than just by yelling at you and giving you that little boost right then and there. Because if I just give you that boost, well, you're gonna need to keep coming back to me, keep coming back, keep coming back. But if I walk alongside you, you can do it on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a wise thing to be able to, adjust your leadership style depending upon like who you might be helping out at that particular time. And so I think it's kind of nice for you to be able to say, hey, I'm willing to walk alongside you and we could figure this thing out together. I mean, I really like that approach overall. Do want to talk about this past season for you guys. I mean, end up going 8-5, finishing out your last collegiate season there for Texas State. I wanted to talk through at least a couple different games, and then of course get to some of the highlights of your postseason activity. So, one of the first games from this past year had you guys pitted up against UTSA, high level, rivalry there. And really, again, we had spoken about a lot of the quarterback play that you've seen throughout your time. And I feel like that was maybe the particular game where McLeod really stepped into it and showed his ability to be the leader of the team. So, talk about that game, if you don't mind. I mean, you guys end up dominating in that game, 49-10. Talk through that.
Well, that was one of the weeks that it was probably the easiest to be a leader, right? Uh, Last year, I had the misfortune of breaking my leg in that game. And so that's a natural robbery for us anyway. But I was on 10 anyway. I needed my get back. They broke my leg. I couldn't finish. Most of my season that year was away. And so I was already on 10 because of that. I wasn't going to lose. But then I looked across the board and everybody was on 10 because of the way we lost that game last year. We should have won. There was a lot of different things that held us back. Coach Shu came in the offensive line room and started writing stuff on the board, and he kind of showed us how we played last year. And that was an affront to us. Like, it was horrible. It was terrible. The defensive absolutely took us out last year. And so there were just so many chips on our shoulders that. And so we go into that game, our piss is on fire. We're ready to roll. Honestly, we didn't even feel like getting pulled. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wanted to go all game long. We did not like those UTSA people at all whatsoever. We were trying to go after them. We were trying to. That fire was lit. That fire was lit from the ending of Lamar to that whole week to the ending of UTSA. We were ready to go. And so that was just a culmination of a lot of different things in play. And that was one fun game.
Yeah, and again, just had to mention that your quarterback, Jordan McLeod, threw for over 300 yards. A lot of exciting, plays in that game. I know there was one, long touchdown pass with Chris Dawn really just having like a phenomenal game that whole game. Just uh, taking the top off of defenses and just allowing him to work. Um, good moment there. So, want to talk about another game that's a little different, but outcome still the same, and that is overall dominance. Louisiana Monroe. You guys completely dominated the line of scrimmage. We are talking about a team that rushed for over 300 yards. I don't know how in the world you guys were definitely dedicated to it. You made it work. Talk about that particular game, man. I mean, you have a running back really taking over, and you had a quarterback who took off for over 100 yards himself.
Right. That was probably my best game of the season. That it was raining. We were coming in there, and Louisiana Monroe was trying to get bowl eligible, and we didn't want them to get bowl eligible on us because that's going to make us look bad. And so that was kind of a fire lit. We knew as an offensive line it was going to be a rainy game, and when it's a rainy game, we're not throwing the ball that much. The coaches came to us and let us know, like, hey, we're going to run this rock, and if it's working, we're going to keep running this rock. And so that was a fun, super fun game for us. They really put the team on our back as offensive line and said, hey, this is y'all's game. Go make it be what you want it to be. Dion showed everybody who Dion was. We knew who he was, right? We knew that he was a great guy. We knew that he was an amazing power back, big, strong dude that could run people over. And so he got his shine earlier on. And so the offense we got to really see that we can run this pill on anybody. The offensive line that game really showed that we're a bunch of dominant guys from the left tackle to the right tackle. Doesn't matter where you want to run this ball. We're gonna run it down y'all throat. We got to do any type of run that we wanted to do. And we got to do power. We got to do counter. We got to do dive. We got to do inside zone. We didn't really do outside zone a whole lot because everything else was working. So it's like, why switch it up? And then we had great quarterback play. One of my favorite plays of that was I pulled and I got to go hit somebody, crushed him, and the QB. We were running the ball so much that the QB pulled it and then flipped it and threw it, I believe, to Cole Wilson for a nice little touchdown pass because they weren't respecting the pass. And it was just we could whatever we wanted to do that game, we did. And it was raining and it was so fun.
I mean, I just think that, there was so much respect for the run game. There was just, they weren't even paying attention to the possibility that you guys might actually pull it out and throw a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely fun game to talk through. I mean, again, you had highlighted Dion Hankins, good, power back who's been very consistent during his time there. Um, Obviously, put together a solid career. Again, we highlighted, the fact that, very, very experienced along the offensive line. And after you finished up, you had an opportunity to go out to the East West Shrine Bowl and really showcase your talent out there. So, talk about that experience, if you don't mind. Maybe some of the relationships, maybe some of the one-on-ones.
That was a fun time. So it was like I went to Texas State because I feel like God told me to go to Texas State. But in the portal, I had offers from a lot of different places, and I could have went wherever I chose to go because of our career at UIW. And so when I got there, there was this thought of like, am I good enough? Am I this? Am I that? I haven't gone against this supposed P5 talent. But then myself, I knew that I'm a great player. I know that I can play football. I know that I can do what it is that I'm called to go do. And so I get there and the nerves are going and they're, what I'm saying, there's rushing all over. The excitement's there. I'm looking across the crowd. There's all these different scouts. Some scouts I do know, some scouts I don't know. And it was just like, okay, yeah, I'm here. Fine. Like I'm in this arena that I feel like I'm supposed to be in. And it was fun to go out there and just do what it is that I'm called to go do. Those guys were good. And I haven't necessarily gone against that type of talent before, but I fit right in. I was moving guys from A to B. I was setting stuff down in pass pro. And those dudes were hitting me with some moves here and there. And so it was really good for me to test myself against the best of the best in college football and know that I fit, I belong, I'm supposed to be here. And that week from start to finish was just incredible. I got to meet all these different scouts. I got to be in a pro style offense because for us, it's very fast. Our offense is incredibly fast, balls to the wall. We're going to get a whole lot of plays in. You're going to be tired. We're going to be tired, and we're still going to keep going. And then it flipped to, okay, we're going to take the full 40 seconds. We're going to have this long winded play, and everything means something. I had to learn a different playbook, learn different terminology. And so just everything went into trying to do my best this week. And I think I went out there and I think I did that.
Yeah, another thing to note is I saw you taking at least a few reps at center. How is that working for you? I mean, I know maybe you might be training to potentially do that at the next level. So, where have you been training as you're preparing for your pro day, and like how much of this have you worked on with you being a center?
Gotcha. I've been working on snapping uh the whole season, really. After our practices, I would get there, get a couple snaps in, just make sure I train it because I want to make myself as marketable as possible. And if I can play all five positions, I think that's pretty marketable. I think they can
Yeah,
save some money by just paying me. And so I'm
there
gonna do
you
the
go.
best that I can to make myself as marketable as possible. So I've been snapping this whole time. I did most of my training. I did all of my training at a place called Built For It in Prosper, Texas. It was really cool for me to be able to go out there and train and get my body ready for it. The teachers there, my trainer was Jay. He was phenomenal. Any question I asked him, he'll answer in terms of running technique and form or this and that. And then when we did our skills, I had Andre Gerard as our teacher, and it was really good for me to sit there and just pick everything apart. I'm asking him random questions. I'm trying to ask him all these different things because he's a center that did it at a high level, and I don't really haven't played center a whole lot like that. So might as well ask him and get all these little nuggets of information.
Yeah, I mean, and really putting yourself in a solid position to get drafted. A couple of items also to note. I know some people may think you may not have the size for every position, but I have to throw those myths out of the way because I mean we are looking at a guy with decent overall size, about 6'4". Has 30 over 33-inch arms, 33 and a quarter inch arms as measured at the Shrine Bowl, 82 and 5/8 inch wingspan. So good wide body there on the offensive line that can be utilized really across the board. And so in any depth chart, I mean, it's really nice to be able, as we have mentioned before, if you can play all five positions, that would be great. But I mean, I know that that's something that you're really trying to do. Um, Nash, let's take a moment to step off the football field. You've talked a little bit about yourself and your family and such, but you feel if there's anything else that people need to know about you, I want to give you an opportunity. So, share any fun facts or interesting things about yourself that you want people to know.
I'm a married man. I got married recently here in December, December 14th, to my beautiful wife, Aaliyah Jones. And so that's been a new thing for me to think about and get wrap my head around. And that I got a wife with me that I'm taking care of and providing for. And she's doing an amazing job just with this whole rigmarole of trying to get drafted. She's an athlete herself. She played basketball at SFA. And so she understands the lifestyle. She understands that I'm gonna be tired when I get home. She understands that I'm gonna be away working for a long periods of time. And the great thing about this is she's a coach as well. And so while I'm away getting a workout in or two workouts in a day, she's coaching her girls to play basketball. And so this the dynamic that we have and the love that we have and the love that we have for Christ has been really great to show and see. My family's been super supportive of this thing and pouring into us. I guess the fun fact of how we met was we met at my dad's church. I'm getting ready to go to Texas State. My car is packed. I'm ready to go head on this road. Before I head on the road, I go to church with my brother, and I see the Sunday school teacher. I think she looks nice. She's saying the right things. She's saying these things about God that I believe in and that she believes in. And that to me, that just made her look 10 times beautiful to know that we believe the same things concretely. I go to the service. And I'm like not really paying attention to my dad. I'm always doing popping a couple of these, looking at her because I just can't get her off my head. I go to try to shoot my shot as she's giving tithes, and my phone's dead. And so she said, "Ah, we'll get it later." And we go in my brother's car. I plug my phone in. I'm upset because my phone was dead. And then we go to the gas station. Lo and behold, she's at the same gas station. So I hop out the car. I run. I'm running, doing like this. I show the big chest and I show the muscles a little bit. Running down, running down. I see her, asking for a number real quick. She types it in, and then I run off into the sunset. Again, trying to show the muscles a little bit as I run. And the rest is history. The rest is history.
Well, it was certainly fate. I think it's kind of fun. It's a fun story to share. I was trying to read up a little bit on you and what you've been able to do as a student. I saw somewhere that you were like, I think a history major, I believe, with a minor in religious studies. Um,
Yes, sir.
I was thinking here for a little bit here, Nash, as you've been talking through things and as you've shared about your family and such, do you see yourself maybe following in your dad's footsteps after football's done? I mean, I don't know. Talk to me.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people get that premonition that I might be a pastor as well. I said the Lord's will be done. I'm not gonna just say I will. I'm not gonna say I'm not. I know that I feel like this is what He's called me to do right now, and so I'm
Sure.
gonna give 110% effort at this. I do see myself going to seminary probably during while I'm playing. Just in the summer or spring, however that'll work. I'll figure that out. But I love learning about Christ. I love learning about religion and theology as it is. That's kind of one of my hobbies. Is I like to learn about that type of stuff. It piques my interest. And so if the Lord wants to use me like that later on, that's how He chooses to use me.
I hear you, Will. Obviously, right now your mission field is on the football field too. So that's going to be a fun way of sharing your faith there. Uh, Obviously, dude, man, we've had a great time talking. I know we need to wrap things up here in just a minute. As we sort of close up our time, talk again why you feel an NFL team needs to draft you maybe higher than some people might think, and what you would give to said football team, when they give you that opportunity. So, close with your final thoughts.
Gotcha. Consistency. I've played, like you said, 51 snaps. I've started since I got into football. I've seen a lot of football, and I'm still hungry and wanting to learn more. I'm a very consistent person. I pride myself on being consistent, and the consistency that I bring is through intensity. It's through my strength. It's through my athleticism. It's through my versatility. And so, if you want a good guy to put into that locker room who's going to get the job done at a high level and execute every single day, and bring the things that you need them to bring, well, then that's why you draft me a little bit higher than what you think, because you're going to get somebody that's worth more than what everyone thinks that it is.
Yeah, I mean, again, I see a very complete prospect. Again, who can play a lot of different positions, who brings great strength, great athleticism. experience is phenomenal. You've been in, very prolific offenses, and so you're willing to bring that in as well as like your leadership, your ability to be a quality leader to the table. So, Nash, want to wish you all the best and what you got going on. It seems like a lot of fun things happening these days. Okay,
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
sure thing. Once again, I got with me Nash Jones, offensive lineman out of Texas State. Let's see this guy drafted here very soon.